Hello, welcome to Woodline Tracking. Today we're going to talk about wisdom versus rules, or rules versus wisdom. America is very much a legalistic society now, and we have laws for everything. And if you ever had the opportunity to travel the world some, and I don't mean going to resorts and tourist areas, but actually interacting with locals, you would see that we have a lot more rules here than most other places in the most other countries across the world. You know, it used to, this country, I don't care what you said, was based on Christian value, and we were a Christian-based country. I'm a deeply religious man, and I think God has kind of allowed us to follow our own path through free will, you know. Like I believe salvation is free, but to be spirit filled and get the fruits of the Spirit takes obedience, discipline, and commitment to the Lord. That's probably the reason why we seem like we're living in a Mel Brooks movie now. If you watch the debates and all the crazy things that are going on, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's just gone, like, people have gone crazy. And I mean, like in California, to buy ammo, you got to have proof of ID and all this stuff, but anybody can vote. So I mean, it's just like we're just going crazy on crazy laws. And I think a lot of that is because the church and the Christians and the people of society has turned away from God and not choose to follow Him, become spirit filled. And again, I'm not doubting salvation, because salvation is free, but it takes a commitment to God to be spirit filled, and you get wisdom from that. And I think a lot of that is because we are going to wisdom of man and not the power of God. So I urge everybody to get spirit filled. I'll do more videos on that in the future. Okay. What do I mean by wisdom versus rules in society? My dad was a builder, and it used to be the inspectors you got were guys with the background on what they're inspecting. So if you were a good plumber and you understood plumbing and you mastered the art, you just didn't go there for a job and just, or whatever happens, that's the rules, doesn't follow along with it, but you actually master it, think out of the box, and you're a good plumber, then you could go and be a good inspector and make sure everything's getting built right, because you have the ability to see if these guys that are doing the plumbing know what they're talking about and doing a good job. And you don't have to follow all the rules. I mean, you don't have to follow a rule book, because you pretty much need no rules just as a guideline, because you know what's going on and you can help solve problems and make the decisions, not just be a robot. This is the rules, this is what we have to do. But it seems like now they're just taking anybody and putting him in the position. You know, he might have been a good electrician, or he can be a good plumbing inspector, throw him in there, and he knows nothing about it. So all he does is memorize the rules and say you can't do that. You have to follow the rules. But you can't write a rule for everything. And I think that's the reason why we're getting such crappy jobs being built now, being honest, and over budget and taking too long. It's just a disaster. And trying to get stuff through zoning, I guess, is a pain in the butt, because there's so many rules you have to do for zoning and this and that. It's just a mess. It costs all of us money and time. So again, I'm not saying that we don't need rules, but rules can just be an outline. We need people with good wisdom to interpret the rules and to guide us down these paths, because again, you can't write rules for everything. You just have to go with it. Okay, so how does this impact the gun community, patriot prepper community? God has blessed me. I've been trained by some of the best in my field, and God's also blessed me that I am involved in 4 different organizations from a gun store to official paramilitary outfit group, anywhere from teaching, training, putting training together, classes, studying, all that. So I get in the Patriot Prepper Award, I get to interact with a lot of you guys and see stuff and hear stuff on it. So, you know, what do I mean by we have too many rules and not enough wisdom? Well, let's just take, if you read the rule book or hear people talk about, and this is applying to paramilitary or Patriot Prepper, if you get ambushed, you need to assault the ambush. That's the number one rule. That's the best way to do it. I'm not saying that isn't an option what you should do, but to write a rule book on what you should do in that situation is foolish. You should basically, you know, you need to be trained in it and go through scenarios and keep on going so you know what to do, because every ambush is different. I've been involved in a bunch of ambushes, you know. It's, you know, I've seen it before where a group has gone down and they got ambushed in training that they weren't following good formation, good camouflage. This was mostly a testing group to see where this group was at, so we knew what we needed to do to get them on track for training purposes. And because time's valuable, we don't want to spend a lot of time training stuff that they're already good at or they just need polished up on. So they were going down through this training scenario, and that there were 6 guys patrolling and 2 guys ambushing them. And more or less, they get ambushed because, again, they're not following good tactics, good training, camouflage discipline, noise discipline, and they get ambushed by 2 guys that are doing a hasty spot ambush, and it gets screwed up so bad that these guys figure out they need to do something, and they end up attacking in a 90 degrees in the wrong direction from where the guys are being ambushed, because out in the bush, in the woods, and paramilitary and small unit tactics, it is sometimes hard to tell where you're being shot at from. And so sometimes if you want to attack, you don't even know where to attack. You know, a lot of times it's best just to break contact, because if you are following good tactics and good formation and have good noise and camouflage discipline, when if you're the ambusher, it's like doing a little spot ambush or something, it's hard to tell how many guys are really down there and where they're really at, because they're doing good tactics. And if you do shoot at one of them, a lot of times they'll be able to break contact and regroup and then figure out what to do. Either they do a flanking attack on you or what. So there's a lot of different scenarios that you need to be trained on. You know, like, let's just say one example that you might want to assault the ambush is if it's a well-planned ambush and you get caught in a real bad area, and then you can't really retreat out because there's guys blocking behind you because it's a planned ambush, and there's an area where you might be able to peel out and go down that looks good. Well, chances are it could be booby trapped, and they are hoping that you do that. At that point, maybe it's best to take on one of them groups by doing a frontal attack. You know, I don't know. There's all different scenarios where it can be done, but to write a rule book on what should you do, what you should do is just go get trained in it and go through scenarios after scenarios after scenarios after scenarios till you feel confident in your ability, and just make it happen and make the best decision on what is going down and make it happen. You know, the ones that want to quote rules are the ones that not really been trained in it or not experienced it. Okay, another thing that drives me nuts is everybody wants to argue about what rifle's the best, and blah blah this and blah blah that, and AR, AK, 308, you know what I mean? They want to argue. Of course, everybody's passionate about their rifle, and that's good. But the thing is, I can argue why an AR is best. I can argue why an AK is best.
I can also argue why an AK isn't the best. I can also argue why an AR isn't the best. It doesn't matter. Just become proficient and good with the gun that you choose to carry. And as you get better, you have different weapons for different situations because that weapon fits you better for that situation. You choose to use that. So you need to become good on multiple rifles and pistols. So you need to get trained up and quit buying all the gear out there. I mean, guys just buy gear because, again, I know you're a proper guy. You're proper guys. Propaganda gets you big time because everybody wants to sell you something. But it's easy to buy gear. It's hard to get properly trained to go to training. I mean, one of the biggest things that I see in this community is lack of training. I'm just going to be honest. Lack of training and lack of heart and commitment to what you're doing. Everybody wants to talk big, but when it comes to really lack of training is one of the biggest things. You know, everybody wants to buy all this gear, and this is supposed to do this, and it's supposed to do that. You know, help make me better, and all this. Well, it probably will give you a combat multiplier, and I've done videos on some of the combat multipliers, but you need to be trained first. If you're not trained, it won't help you. So people want to spend money, but they don't want on gear, but they don't want to go to the classes to get trained or join an organization to get trained and do the hard work. I mean, honest, if you're not shooting hundreds to thousands of rounds a month, you ain't gonna become proficient at your firearms. If you aren't doing dry fire drills at home every night or most nights, you're not become better proficient with your weapons. You need to put the discipline in and go get proper training and train with it to become good at your weapon. That's the biggest thing that is going to win is on what is the best weapon is how well can you use the weapon. And arguing about what weapon's best when you haven't mastered it means very little to me. So I urge you guys to get trained up and make it a lifestyle. Just don't talk it, live the lifestyle of it.
So on the gun thing, don't waste your time memorizing stupid rules on guns. Yes, you need to know some of the rules, like gun safety rules and stuff like that. You need to know that. You need to be educated on the basic rules, but don't waste your time coming up with stupid rules, memorizing stupid rules. Get wisdom on the gun. That's by doing it and shooting, you'll get wisdom. Become wise on the gun you choose, the gun that you use, or on guns. Get wisdom. Next, we need to, as a community here, we have maybe bad days coming ahead of us. You know, like I was talking about the Mel Brooks movie of society away, are we making all these stupid rules and laws? We need to come together as a community, and if you're a Christian, become spirit-filled and follow the Almighty and allow Him and put your trust in Him. Also, you need to become a good patriot and live the lifestyle and become dedicated to training and to what you believe in, if you believe in that. So I urge you all to think about your personal commitment on both of them. And I'm going to end it on this. Remember, spirit-filled men got us our freedom. Spirit-filled men kept our freedom. And spirit-filled men, in order to keep our freedom, we need future spirit-filled men. So we might have a hard fight ahead of us, gentlemen. I urge you to pray up, get trained up. Remember, time may go on, but your life may not.